My cat stepped on my keyboard while I was away. Gods, not this again. And wrote, the perfect post this really to properly kick off 2026's Sequelathon. We will be running 4 sequel videos, so this will bleed into July. For our first, we're back looking at the many ways pets have in some way annoyed, scared, disgusted, or otherwise tested their owners. Featuring more tales from Reddit, as well as some of the YouTube comments from that original video, in addition to follow-ups of various other animal and pet-related things that we've covered in the past. I once pretended to die in front of my dog to see how he would react. The whole shebang, walking around in the yard, clutched my chest, became a crumpled heap on the floor. He ran over. Success! Sniffed my carcass, stepped on my boob, he is 30 kilograms, and then ran a metre away and peed while staring at my dead body. When Corona was a huge thing, I had an online meeting for school. I did not know my cat had caught a bat the night before, and the moment I had to do my presentation, the bat came flying out of the curtains and started through the entire fucking house. My dog picks up his leash at the vet's office and walks out the door, because you're right now, I'm gonna shoot off, I reckon, yeah. Nah, yeah, you stick around if you want. I'll meet you back at the house. Yeah, it's fine. My nan's cat once gave birth on the pillow that my dad was using whilst he was asleep. Oh god, I read that so wrong. What, my nan's cat gave birth to my dad? My Australian Shepherd tries to herd any fucking vehicle that enters the driveway, running around the vehicle full speed while nibbling at the tyres. Yeah, I've got a border collie. She will try to herd literally anything. People, cars, bikes, other dogs, birds, sticks, even a pond once. How long did it try to herd the pond? My cat stole some kid's phone. I don't know how. When I was a kid, my dog dug up one of my dead hamsters buried in the backyard and presented to me at the foot of my bedroom door. I was not happy with his gift. I have a tortoise who loves to bite people. He'll keep chasing after you no matter how many times you move away. Well, I can't help but imagine the movie It Follows. I have a crested gecko. My boyfriend was Skyping with some friends and got Samurai, our gecko, out to show them. He immediately started masturbating directly in front of the webcam. Yeah, but what was the gecko doing? Hi-oh! I recall my mother owning a litter of rabbits back in the day. One of them was named the Troll and was single-handedly responsible for castrating the entire litter by gnawing his own and the others' ball sacks open. What? My puppy, chewed up our wedding video Blu-ray. This furry miscreant managed to gaslight me into thinking I'd accidentally binned my dessert forks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw you throw those away. I think he might be going crazy. Nope, he'd been stealing them and hiding them on top of my kitchen cupboards. Walter loves to chase flies, so much so he knocked our TV over trying to get one. Thanks, Walter. This. Bringing you as authentic sound effect as possible, as always. Reminded me of that cat sanctuary's nice and naughty Cat of the Week boards. Yes, Perry's Place Adoption Centre in LA, and those boards are still going. Nice Cat of the Week, Cleo, for being the sweetest little tripod and getting along with her new roommates. Naughty Cat of the Week, Churro, for climbing up staff's pant legs and biting their calves. Nice Cat of the Week, Shadow, for waiting patiently for treats and waving politely for attention. Naughty Cat of the Week, Stella, for being impatient for treats and jumping on staff's back with her claws out to try to get them. Stella do be looking like trouble. Hi, I'm Stella. Also, fuck you. Leroy, our oldest resident, is the nice cat of the week for helping the shy cats in his new room be more social. Meanwhile, Susano is the naughty cat of the week for peeing under the pee pads we put in his room and covering it with said pee pads. Nice cat of the week, Kimiko, for being so grateful to staff for helping a poor hill that she made biscuits on our faces. Naughty cat of the week, Billy Butcher, for instigating an escape out of his room with his siblings and roommates. A poor shank redemption. State your name for the record, please. William Butcher, Your Honour. Nice cat of the week, Marcelo, for going limp in anyone's arms who holds him like a baby because he loves it so much. Naughty cat of the week, Lentejas, for growling with treats in his mouth so his brother would be too scared to eat his share. No, Lentejas was saying boo earns. Nice cat of the week, Polly, for thriving in her new home. Naughty cat of the week, Laudina, for playing tag with people's faces. Nice cat of the week, Garth, for sharing treats with his siblings and being sweet while volunteers clean his room. Naughty cat of the week, Merida, for screaming so loud in her foster home that neighbours complained. Merida actually says analog cat emoji. Nice cat of the week, Gordita, for getting along with her new roommates and having lots of playtime with them. Naughty cat of the week, Cow, for trying to hide her catnip stash from staff so they wouldn't find it. Man, Cow looks high as fuck. Nice cat of the week, Casey, for being the loudest purrer in the room and bringing everyone's heart rate down. Naughty cat of the week, Holly, for having so many energy bursts that inspired all the other kitties in her room to have zoomies too. Well, Holly doesn't look naughty at all, smiling face with smiling eyes. Oh, that's not Holly, that's Casey, the nice cat. That's Holly. I want what Holly's on. My cat puked up the still beating heart of whatever the hell he managed to kill and eat in the yard on the kitchen floor. My cat put a live mouse in my boot. My cat put half of a mouse in my Christmas stocking. My cat ate a government form. My dog snorts ants like they're cocaine. Shit out a tampon with a vroom. My dog eats socks. He steals them from the laundry basket and gobbles them up insatiably before I can get to him because he knows he's doing a bad. He always throws them back up a day or so later and once even pooped one out, which I had to help pull out from his anus. Once on a walk he threw up a sock. A moment later he threw up yet another one. As I picked up the second sock he quickly ate back down the first one before I could confiscate it. My rabbit literally ate my homework. Yes, ma'am, my rabbit ate my homework. Analog look of disapproval. I was feeding my snake live mice and the mice dodged his attack. He ended up biting himself and tried to eat himself. I had to pry his mouth open with a butter knife to get himself off himself. This mouse tastes like pain! Our old dog would come running into the kitchen every time I swore. It usually meant I dropped something. Yes, dogs obviously prone to picking up on words and phrases, e.g. I'm a therapist and work from home. My dog has trained himself to go nuts when I say, so we're almost out of time. Such that many now have to speak in code around their dogs. My dogs go apeshit if they think they're going outside. They still go crazy if it's not feasible to take them out and I just happen to mention it in the middle of the night. So I will call it outside, the big green, nature, bug central, visiting the goat. As soon as my dog hears car ride, he loses his shit, runs to the back door, spins around in circles, etc. I say things like motor vehicle adventure, or Jean and I are going on an automobile excursion. We couldn't even spell walk anymore, so we started just saying W. Then he figured that out, so now we have to speak fucking broken Norwegian. But there are some less conventional words that also set dogs off, like this chihuahua that goes crazy when you say diarrhea. My old dog went nuts at the word beige. Older brother has a dog that goes absolutely bonkers when we say yonder. Not a clue why. It's never been a common word for any of us to say, and he got the dog at 8 weeks old, lol. Fart, squirrel, set my dog off every time. Not the two words separately, only together. My poodle gets super amped up if anybody says technically. We have no idea why, but even if a random person says it, he will get up and cock his head at them like, what did you just say? My dog stops what he's doing and cocks his head at me if I do an impression of Cowan Dunbar's I smell shite from the Scottish sketch show Chewing the Fat.
I think I can smell shite.
My dog's tail never stops wagging. Discovered the word terrorist makes it stop. I genuinely am so confused by how and why. Meanwhile, some other pets out there seem like they're trying to communicate back. Had a cat that when her siling fan was turned off and it started to slow down enough to see the individual fan blades, she would start spinning her head in circles watching it and making this noise. Meow! My dog Minnie screams when she poops. I've had it looked at. She's not in pain. It's just a weird thing she does, according to her vet. She'll walk outside like a normal dog and then go... My dog has genuinely figured out that you're supposed to say hello when someone comes into the house, and he tries really hard to say it. Obviously he can't because dogs don't have the same type of voice box, but he makes a weird noise that he never makes at any other time that kind of sounds like, oh, what's this? No, like Owen Wilson's dog. Oh, wow. My cat learned how to meow the word hello, and it sounded exactly like a person saying it too. She used to scare awake me or my parents in the middle of the night with a voice that sounded like a kid saying, hello, Bam, how you doing, mate? Hello. What the hell? Your cats are learning English. Meanwhile, mine is still figuring out that if you back off of a table, then eventually the table runs out. For these pets who haven't learned how to speak, you can buy them talking buttons, which they can then associate with phrases and wants so that they can communicate with you in a way. However, as r/pets with buttons tell us, it can cause problems. My dog's figured out how to boss me around. When I adopted my dog, she was about 1 year old. I was trying to get her to fetch, and when I said, go get it, she immediately grabbed the toy and brought it back to me. We're up to 10 buttons right now, with go get it being one of them. Tonight, I got home, took her for a walk, and once I sat down on the couch, she pressed dinner. Yeah, okay, I'll get you dinner in 1 minute, I reply. After about 10 seconds of thought, she stares directly at me and slams, go get it. My cat has started to use a curse word. I gave him a vacuum button because the vacuum is stressful for him, and I wanted to be able to clearly communicate that the vacuum is going to happen and let him know vacuum all done. He definitely knows what it means because when the vacuum is running, he will push vacuum repeatedly and also add nervous in there too, but now he started spamming vacuum after I tell him no, like he's using it as a curse word. For example, he will ask for snacky when we just got done with snacky, and I will say snacky all done, and then he will go spam vacuum, vacuum, vacuum. Or I looked away for 1 second and he snuck a lick from into my spicy curry dish, and then he went and pressed, oh, that snacky vacuum. My dog has clear opinions on romance. The first day I put out the buttons, I had no expectations my pup would use them right away. Cut to later that evening when my partner and I are being intimate. He walks over and presses, no. I tried to convince my partner, I just picked a random button, and once he realised it made noise, he wanted to keep pressing. She wasn't buying it. It's now been a few weeks, and every time we kiss or start to do the horizontal tango, my dog presses either no, or, right, I think everyone's got what they're going to get out of this. She's like, all done, yeah? These button selections can also pop up on an app, so like Mistal Pixie Fan's dog critiquing their music. Want all done noise? Rude. And here's another conversation someone in red, while trying to watch a movie, had with their dog in blue. What? Tricks? Puzzle? I'm busy. No, busy. No! I'm busy. No. Busy. Calm. No, busy. Want. Busy. No. Want tricks. What? Tricks. No. Busy. Puzzle. Busy. Puzzle. Busy. Puzzle. My dog peed on some guy's leg at the dog park because he was wearing dark brown pants, and my pup thought it was a tree. My dog used to take the lid off of the butter container, eat all of the butter, and put the lid back on. I left my sandwich on the table and walked away. When I grabbed my sandwich off the table and took a bite, there was no meat, just 2 pieces of bread and mayo, and my dog was off hiding somewhere. Is your dog on keto or something? My German Shepherd mix chewed up my mother's Bible. I forgave him. He was just being a nervous dog. Well, that, or have you stopped to consider maybe Bibles actually just taste really nice? Let's see what Proverbs tastes like. A little splash of hot sauce. It's not bad. Dog ripped open a diaper, shook poo-soaked silica all over the house. Mine took a fat poop in my brand new Samsonite suitcase. Twice. Shat on my clothes. For caught, loudly crying face emoji. Ate a bunch of soft plastic frying baits and spent the next few days shitting out rubber lizards. I had this pet cockatiel called Peaches. He sat in the middle of my pillow and did a massive wet shit, and then blew me a kiss. Little fucker. Nice to see some avian friends mentioned. We did of course run a whole video a while back on stories of mischief from r/birds. Here are some of the posts that didn't make the cut. Aunt had a cockatoo. A funny bastard figured out if it mimicked my aunt shouting, "Doggy! Dinner!" The little dogs would go mental and run excitedly into the kitchen where their bowls were. Bird would perch in the kitchen and just watch their confusion. When the alarm clock went off, my parrot used to yell, "Oh shit!" My green cheek has started incessantly shouting, "Cute!" whenever he wants attention, as if reminding us how cute he is. The first time we tried to blow dry Tucker, our green cheek conure, after a bath, he just stood there and yelled, Seriously? Someone taught my great aunt's parrot the term 2-cent whore. You little maggot. Need bill. Hey, silly, take off your shirt. Wanna go to Walmart? Not the face. My conure Pip says, "Step up." No, in the scariest deep growl of a demon voice. Step up! My Quaker went through a phase where she would always tell me, be good, cow poop. Oh, hey, whilst we're on birds, you may remember Pupa and Lupa, the pigeons on keyboards. Well, I'm pleased to say they're still going strong. These aren't mischievous birds, of course. They're very helpful on their keyboards, giving Instagram advice. Pigeon, should I study today? Pensive face emoji. Ying, favor. Oh, man, that's a yes. What should I put in my bio? 5555555555555555555. No way, you really did it! Oh, Pigeon, what do I do to sleep more? Hey, what flavour is colour? Couldn't agree more. What to do if cat keeps licking toe and ear? Yeah, 98 kill 'em. Would you be willing to be voted for president? 2 for 1. Does he love me? 666 7 4 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 5. No, the pigeon saying 6-7. Loudly crying face emoji. Anyone from Matt Rose? Skull emoji. Loudly crying face emoji. Okay. Actually, following last year's video, Pupa and Lupa kindly did bestow me my own personal keyboard stomp. But in much more exciting news, Pupa laid an egg and started building a nest right on the keyboard. It literally typed W, le mayor. Yep, the Telegram chat hasn't stopped since I last visited. Swack /M 3E. Smiling cat face with heart eyes, woman detective, lab coat, Aquarius, racing motorcycle, arrow pointing rightwards and curving upwards, red heart. Yeah, just one question. 6. Kiss. Equals 7,877. MNOP. Yes, I ate. We have a young miniature horse whose head is right about at human butt level. He likes to sneak up behind you as you're walking through the pasture and bite you on the ass. You can't even hear him coming, he's so sneaky. Did anyone back then tell you that buying a horse will then come back to bite you in the ass? My 80-pound greyhound Murray is extremely risk-adverse, except in the water, which would be fine if he knew how to swim. The first time he had the chance, he waded in until he started to float, then keeled over like a tipped canoe and slowly sank. I lugged him out thinking, he's not a water dog, that's fine. But Murray keeps walking straight into the lake to drown like a Victorian widow. Now I just make sure he's on the leash and reel him in like a big dumb fish. Whilst over on r/cats, my tuxie was pissed off I was working instead of paying attention to him. So he grabbed the plastic cup of drinking water I keep safely away from equipment, carried it over in his mouth and dumped it on my work laptop. My 2 dogs, Stella and Sparky, are the reason I learned about the birds and the bees at an early age, what with how regularly they went at it. Sparky also had an unfortunate habit of, getting stuck inside of Stella. The 2 then usually proceeded to freak the hell out about it. Cat Coco will follow you into kitchen after grocery shopping with big dilated eyes and not stop meowing until you give her the receipt. We have to ball it up and throw it down the hall. The receipts are her absolute favourite toy. I thought you were going to say she knows you have cat food or something, but when you said she likes receipts, it was so random it threw me, and my blood pressure went so weird from the surprise that I went deaf for a few seconds in my left ear. My sister is a veterinarian, and they once had an office dog named 38 Cents, because that's how much change they recovered from his stomach. I wonder if that's how 50 Cent got his name. It does make you wonder as to how some pets got their names. Again, we've touched on this in the past, but we've never looked at this thread before. You and your pet must switch names. How embarrassed are you when introducing yourself? My name is Beowulf, and this is my chihuahua, Sharon. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm McDonald's, and this is my best chicken friend, Chloe. McDonald's! Hello, my name is Optimus Prime. Hey, it's me, your girl, Shrimpleton. Bonjour, je m'appelle Baguette. Hello, I am not. I feel like the name Master Steve could get me somewhere. You're either Master Chief's long-lost brother, or the master at being a Minecraft Steve, or a Dom in the BDSM community. I'd love introducing myself as Lucifish. I'd be Benicio del Toro, so that's cool, I guess. Hi, I'm fucking Batman. Oh no, it's just I'm Poo Nugget. Considering I named my cat Bin Laden, I think I would have to stay at home a lot. Why? Does he knock shit over? Well, my 2-year-old names our pets these days, so I think I'm going to go with Beep Beep. My almost 2-year-old's stuffed elephant is named... I'll go with that one. It's better than the dog who's named... Oh, hey, this is my dog. He's called Matt Rose, and my name is... Hello, my name is Sal Amanda. How can I help you today? Hello, my name is Ren Hades October. I'd like to open a checking account. Hello, my name is Pepper Squishy Face. I would die a little bit inside. Hi, yeah, can I just get a regular iced latte, please? It's a Pepper Squishy Face for the name. Cheers.
Almost.
Dog took a few sips from a stranger's Starbucks while we were at the dog park and shoplifted a rubber ducky from Urban Outfitters. Your dog sounds cool as hell, honestly. Lol. My friend's golden retriever stole a guest's shoe and brought it to the backyard and buried it. Everyone watched through the window. The dog looked so proud. One night, I woke up briefly and my 90% asleep brain registered a noise. Oh, it's raining. How soothing. A second later, it occurs to me that it's the middle of the summer and it hasn't rained in a week. I shot up in bed and I see my cat pissing on the books in my bookcase. My cat got herself 30 feet up a tree. What the fuck is wrong with cats climbing trees? Now the claws point the right way for climbing up, but not for climbing down. Yeah, so my roommate and I threw a line over a nearby branch and tied it off to a cardboard box. Sent the box up, cat got in, got right to the ground. That is a strategy I wish I had thought of when our cat got stuck in a tree when we first moved house, and rescuing him left my hands looking like this. My cat likes to play with plastic Easter eggs. She picks a half up in her mouth and trots around with it, yowling all the while with the egg functioning as an amplifier. Cat walked across keyboard as I was working and sent an email to a new and very important client. Oh, it must have been harmless nonsense. A cat can't type, I hear you say. Said cat feet typing auto-corrected itself to grizzly and then pressed send. My cat jumped on my keyboard. Ferdinand asterisk said. My cat stepped on the keyboard and typed this out. Hi. My cat stepped on the keyboard! Holy Jesus! My cat sat on the keyboard at the bottom of the page. It's quite alright, I assured him, assuming he meant that figuratively. Oh boy, was I going to be. Ib root capital for a shock. The cat just walked across my keyboard and even she knows we're going through it, runner. Smiling face with tear. Of the two non-citizen petitioners, both of whom had been living in the United States. Cat stepped on my keyboard and immediately tried to find money. She's always in search of that bag. The grind don't stop. It meows. My cat just walked across my keyboard and typed Olf and hit enter and it pulled up this Google result. Should I be concerned? My cat sat on my keyboard and managed to look up 3 injured. My cat stood on my keyboard while I was writing a message and created this autocorrect error. Situation, we feel she's doing just fine without him. He's always been punching above his weight and this will impact his farts. Just watched Donnie Darko today. That shit was so fucking confusing, yet so good and so entertaining. I was in the middle of writing that and my cat stepped on the keyboard. I'm just gonna keep that there. My cat stepped on my keyboard and wrote Katie Ruid Gio what do we write 1728 1487 septillion 827 sextillion 878 quintillion 787 quadrillion 878 trillion 787 billion 878 million 787,878 and somehow sent an Among Us picture. My cat walked onto my keyboard and typed 67. Oh, not the cats as well. My cat jumped on my keyboard during a Zoom meeting and pressed I want to ask a question. The heck, Bobby? My cat just walking across my keyboard and managed to screw up my Outlook layout and schedule a meeting called Oh, hi, thanks for attending. I thought we could get together to discuss, My cat walked over my keyboard when I wasn't in the room. How do I fix this? So, my cat sat on my keyboard while I was showering and proceeded to record 2,182 videos. 2,182 videos! Can anyone help me? My cat walked on my keyboard and now my YouTube has the text in italics. And cruelly ironic, the YouTube screen you had up at the time, you are the fool. My cat walked across my keyboard again, but that's okay, because now I have a new song called As Did Freg Bugba Hi Hijum called.mp3. And whilst we're on music, and lastly, my cat stepped on my keyboard while I was working and created this masterpiece. Now, I am so musically ignorant I had no idea from this notation how this would sound, so I asked on Twitter for descriptions or recreations, to be told it was just a series of rests, aka really chaotic silence. Still though, and to play us out...